Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Everything with Sandy, and for those that are just seeing my face for the first time, I'm gonna say a very big welcome to you. But before I go in to start saying a lot of things, let me just say Merry Christmas in arrears and a Happy New Year to you guys in advance. I know I haven't been doing so well, but I'm about to explain everything in a very short while. Guys, a lot has happened to me and I know you're wondering from the thumbnail and the title of this video, or let me just say that I have felt what it feels like to be depressed in a very short while, but I'm quite glad because I feel like most times people really underestimate what this whole mental health thing is all about and how it can affect you. And you know, people don't really understand that it doesn't have to be like something that has happened over time. It could be something sudden and you know, everything just goes for you, like everything just turns into shit. Well, for those people that have asked me how I celebrated my Christmas, I just want to let you know that I spent my Christmas Eve and most of my Christmas on my bed. Yeah, on my bed. I didn't talk to anyone. I didn't take calls. I was just literally binging on Netflix all through. You wouldn't believe it, but that's exactly how it happened. And I just want to use this medium to apologize to everyone that I haven't reached out to, and even my channel that has been on hold. I want to say a very big sorry for that. And I know that there are people that have also sent me messages telling me that they are looking for one video or the other on my channel. I'm about to get into why that has happened, because I've had to take down some of my videos. Like, yeah, I've had to take down some of my videos, a lot of them, and even those that should have gone up way before now, I had to literally push their dates forward because I've been having loads of personal issues that I wouldn't wish for my enemy to have, if I can say. Guys, allow me also apologize because I know that this video will be very lengthy, but I just want to cover as much as I can cover, because like I said, I have spent most of my time drifting into that depressive mood, but I'm not that kind of person, to be honest. I'm the positive minded person. I'm that one friend that will be in a group where everyone is feeling dejected and you know, feeling, you know, getting negative vibes, and I'll be the one to come and be like, nah, that's not how it works. That's not what we do here. We're all positive minded, blah blah blah. And I try to cheer everyone up and give everyone hope, but I have struggled with that myself this couple of weeks. Honestly, I've said to myself that December hasn't been my month. December has been very unfair and very unkind to me, if I must say. Yeah, so yeah, I'm apologizing now. This video will be very lengthy, but I'm going to divide this video into two different sections just so that you don't get too bored along the way. But I promise you that everything I'm going to say here will help you or the next person in question, because I've made my mistakes. And I just felt like for every day that I am on my bed feeling dejected and depressed, or whatever you will call it, someone out there is making the same mistakes that I have made, and they probably will not be strong enough to not get into that depressed mood if care is not taken. So yeah, let's just dive right into what I'm talking about. So let's start by saying that from the 1 year in the UK, and December should have been like the best period for me because I came into the UK basically on the 9th of December. So I was really looking forward to December, and I think that's why, you know, everything has turned to shit, because most times when you're really expecting something, that the thing just goes absolute bonkers for you. I was really looking forward to December. I came to the UK on the 9th of December 2021. So yay, hooray. I'm 1 year, and I did a 1 year recap video, very long video that I was able to edit down to about 54 minutes, or let's say 55 minutes. But that video, you haven't seen it because of this same problem that I'm about to share. Yeah, so yeah, I'm 1 year in the UK now, and December has been very, very unfair to me. Starting from the 2nd of December, most of you saw that video, which has now been taken down because of this problem, guys. So I lost my BRP on the 2nd of December alongside my provisional driving license here in the UK. I also lost my Nigerian nursing license, which I mentioned in the video that is not on my channel now. I lost some bank cards, cash, my Nigerian driving license. There was just a lot, and probably a lot more that is in there that I still do not even remember to date. Yeah, I went shopping and it dropped from my purse. Apparently the zip was bad, so it dropped. I didn't realize it, and by the time I realized it, it wasn't long enough when I found out. But by the time I went back, someone had picked it up because it was in the town center. So yeah, that was what happened to me from the 2nd of December, and that's when the whole thing started going down the hill for me. Guys, it's everyone's dream and goal to want to move forward, to want to move ahead. And for those that know how it works for nurses, when you come as an international nurse to the UK, most times if you come with a trust or a care home, they provide you with accommodation where you can stay for some time. Some people tell you 2 months, some people give you 1 month. It varies according to the organization you're working for. And then after that, you either start paying them, or some people just say you have to go look for another place, because this is literally where they use for like international people coming into the country, and then they need space to provide for people that are going to come in the future. But my trust has the opportunity of providing you with accommodation for a whole year till you can find your footing. So you pay for you stay for 2 months free, and then you have the rest of the 10 months to pay them and find an accommodation. And you can either move out before the time elapses or stay all through and then move out. So like I said, I just turned 1 year. So basically I said to myself, this was the end of August, I'm gonna say. I started thinking about it. I said, I'm gonna be 1 year in December, and usually you get like 2 months notice ahead, telling you that you have to leave at so and so date. So I was expecting my eviction notice to come in around October, but I didn't want that. For some reasons, I just didn't want to get an eviction notice. It would seem weird. I've never gotten one in my life before. So I was like, okay. So from the end of August, I decided to start looking for a place. Even before then, anyways, it's been in and out, because I really wanted to just know what the outside life looks like. And I just wanted to start making actual mature plans. For some reasons, I felt like staying in the hospital accommodation was kind of limiting me. So why not just go out there and explore and, you know, diversify? That was the plan. All good vibes and stuff. So I started looking for a place. I started making up the decision, because I talked to a lot of people, and they said looking for a house December period would not be favorable as well because of the winter and you know, the festive period and all. So I said, okay, no one wants to even be looking for a house or moving out during the festive period. I mean, you're supposed to be settled by then, and it's good to look for a house before December, because you need to know what the heating is like there, because it's winter and you don't want to move into a house during winter period and discover that the heating is not working properly. So all these factors, I said, okay, yeah, it was time to move out finally, you know, because now or later it's still gonna happen. So I started looking for a place. Initially, guys, I cannot overemphasize how much my personal space means to me. I am in between. I'm like an introvert and an extrovert, so I'm more like an ambivert. But I don't play with my personal space. I'm very, very, very cautious. Even before I moved down to the UK, I've lived alone. You know, I'm always particular about just staying on my own, maintaining my own space, my environment, call it like my sanctuary. So I've been used to staying alone. You know, I don't rent houses with people. I go for more of from people that are from Nigeria. You know what I'm talking about. I go for like self-con apartments. Yeah, so when I started looking for a place here, I was going for more of the studio. So self-con is like studio apartments here. So I was going for more of the studio apartments, but guys, London will humble you. London will humble you. And it will humble you in terms of the cost of the houses and the fact that it's not even easy to find the houses. Even when you have the money, it's a different ball game when you are trying to even pay for those houses, because you might get like a viewing, and then the day you're supposed to go for the viewing, they send you a message and tell you, sorry, it's been cancelled, and they don't even give you an actual reason. Very annoying, not cool at all. But yes, things like that happen. And then when you look at the cost of housing and then the stress that comes with it, you just tell yourself, well, for me, I started to tell myself that there was no need to keep being rigid or acting like a girl that was looking for a suitor and was being very selective. I decided to open up a little bit more. I said, okay, if this studio thing is not working, why not go for a shared accommodation? And then some people advised me as well, why don't you just do shared accommodation temporarily, and it'll even help you save a little bit of more money, and then you can stay there for some time and then move out, when you've saved up a lot and taking your time to look for a place outside. So I started thinking about it. I said, okay, let's not be too rigid. Let's not be too rigid. Let me sorry about that, that's my phone. So let's not be too rigid, let's take our time and just move out. So still, because I'm very, very particular and cautious with where I stay and who you stay with, because trust me, if you stay with someone that doesn't give you peace of mind, it's going to be terrible for you. I'm someone that I don't mind what kind of life or experience I gain outside or I get outside, even if it's a bad day at work or whatever, as long as I know that at the end of the day I'm going back to sanity, which is my house. I'm going back to quietness. I'm going back to peace of mind. That is who I am. I don't know if anyone is like that again in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this, but this is just how I am. I don't play with my peace of mind where I stay. I'm that kind of neighbor that you would meet or bump into one day and be like, did you travel? I've not seen you in 2 weeks and I'm literally just next door to you. But I didn't travel. I go to work, come back. The day I'm off duty, I'm mostly in my room with my headphones or my earpiece or my AirPods, watching a movie or even playing music. I move quietly around the house. It's just once in a while that I play my music out loud on my speaker. But aside from that, I prefer my music on. So you might not even know that I'm in the house and I'm really there. So yeah, that's the kind of person that I am. I like my peace. So yeah, I started looking for a place, cut the whole story short. And because I was now looking for a shared accommodation, I know that there are many housing apps or renting apps, but my friend told me about spare rooms, which I know many people know about if you're looking for shared accommodations. So I went to spare rooms, and I started looking for shared accommodations. But then I said, if I'm going to do shared, it has to be with just one person. I'm not going to go for a shared accommodation where there are like 6 housemates or 5 housemates. That for me is a lot. It's like living in a face-to-face apartment. For those people that are from Nigeria, I don't know what I'm talking about. It's like living in face me, I face you. And I'm like, I'm not cut out for that. I can manage one person's problem, but not 6 people's problems. Well, that was what I said, because I know myself, I'm not a troublesome person. I don't cause trouble wherever I am. So I was like, okay, if this person decides to be troublesome, I can deal with one person's trouble, but not 6 people's problems. And, it's much more easy to keep your house tidy and organized the way you want it to be when you're just sharing with one other person. All those things were just what I was thinking about, thinking that was all I had to worry about. So I was looking and I was very picky. I was very, very picky, guys, very picky. I was reading the ads in total. Like, when I say in total, guys, what I mean is I was reading the ads carefully. I didn't want to make any mistakes. I was so particular what I was doing. Whatever you have in your ad, your conditions, I was looking out for them, your rules, the places that I had accessible. I was just considering all these things because I had to consider the fact that I'm a YouTuber as well, and I need a place where I can do my filming if I need to. So yes, those were all the things I was considering. Peace of mind, how many people are in the house, what the house structure is like, accessibility to work, transportation, mode of transportation, how many buses do I need to get to work with, or those kind of things. Everything was what I was looking into. I was very, very picky, and I did see a lot. Guys, when you're looking for houses, you would understand, I did see a lot of rules that I never even knew were applicable. Most times in the UK, if you're doing a shared, especially, pets are not allowed, and I've always wanted to have pets anyways, dogs precisely. But that being said, it's not a must to have a pet now. I can always have a pet later on in life. So, but I saw other conditions, things like don't cook beef in the house, which I respect because it's cultural value. But for me, I've not cooked beef in like months now. But for me, I just felt like I know I eat beef, so I might wake up one day and be like, I want to eat beef, and yeah, what do I do? So yeah, it wasn't weird. It's just that it wasn't aligning with me. I saw houses that said visitors are not allowed, and I was like, yeah, I know I stay more alone you know. And but I'm like, so what, the day I want to bring in my friends, what happens? You know, you have weird rules like that. Don't do this, don't do that. You need to seek permission before people come to visit. And I'm like, I don't understand, it's not a hostel. So the bottom line of what I'm saying is, I was reading every rule attached to the house. And what many people don't know, or should I say what landlords don't know, is that the way they are assessing you is the way you as a tenant or potential tenant is also, you know, assessing them, because nobody wants to be paying for a place where they're unhappy, or a place that gives them some kind of funny rules that they cannot live with. So yeah, I was doing my own screening, and whichever one that I see that had the weird rules, I don't even bother going to view it. I just tell them fine, you know, and I don't go. So let's cut the whole story short. Fateful day, I bumped into this ad. I think that one took the cake for me. So yeah, I looked at how many people were supposed to be occupying the house, and it just says 2, me and the other person that was in the house. And then looking at it further, I saw that it was a living landlord. So I was like, okay, not bad. I mean, I didn't think much about it. Now that I tell people and they hear living landlord, they're like, okay. So yeah, I didn't think about it. So I was like, okay, living landlord is just one person. I wasn't looking at it as like living landlord. I was just looking at it as, okay, it's just one person that I have to stay with. It's a 2-bedroom apartment. You know, there were not more conditions on the house, guys. The only thing is, she said she was looking for female Christians. It's a female living landlord anyways. She said she was looking for female Christians to come to the house. In that ad, unfortunately, I don't have it now. If I knew better, if I knew that things would turn out this way, I would have been more cautious. One of my regrets. In the ad as well, it stated that the living room was out of bounds. That was just it. Then when I saw the ad, to be honest, I sent a message, because like I said, I was, you know, getting desperate at some point. I wanted to get it done with, because it was like delaying me. I had work, I was looking for housing, I had my YouTube channel to grow. So it was just like, oh, let me just get this whole thing done with. So yeah, I saw this ad. It says looking for a female Christian with some other things, you know, in the house for a double bedroom. So I looked at the pictures there. I thought it was funny that it says living room out of bounds, but then the picture of the living room was in the ad. Yeah, so I thought it was a little bit weird, but I was like, okay, living room out of bounds, fine. And then I looked at the room in question. I was like, well, I'm not too impressed. The room doesn't look that big. I don't have properties, but I know I have, you know, a couple of stuffs, clothes, my camera, my stuffed box, and a lot of things. So I looked at the room and I'm like, by the time I put all my things here, it's not going to be enough to film. So yes, even though I chatted this lady up, I think I took 1 or 2 weeks before I sent her another message again, after I kept looking and I wasn't comfortable with other places that I saw. So I went back and I will show you the chat. I went back again about a week or so and I asked if that room was still available, and then she said yes. I was wondering, that time I wondered, I'm like, the room is still available till now. Okay, that's surprising, because a good house like that looked, you know, calm, quiet and stuff, didn't seem like was still going to be available even after a week. But I didn't think much about it, guys. Decided to go view the place. Like I said, the only condition there was female Christians, and I said, okay, I'm a female, I'm a Christian, not a problem, I'm not troublesome. It says living room out of bounds. I'm like, well, even in my father's house in Nigeria, I hardly go to the living room. They know me, I'm a room person, you know. I eat in the room, I do everything in the room. So yeah, nothing nasty in the room. So so I was like, okay, that's not a problem. I don't even watch television. I hardly, if you see me watching television, maybe I'm binging with friends, which they would have had to put me there, you know, and then you still see me on my phone. I'm more of my phone and laptop, you know. I don't watch TV. So cut the long story short, after, you know, a week later, I chatted her up and I was like, is the room still available? And she said yes. Prior to that, she had sent me pictures. So let me tell you guys, okay, like I stated, the room was small for me. I even asked if it had a wardrobe, because it didn't look like it had a wardrobe at the time, but she said yes, it had a wardrobe. So I said, okay, this room is small, I don't think I'll be able to find a filming spot there. For me, that was what my thought was. But then she sent other parts of the house. Like I said, the living room was in there, but it stated already that the living room was out of bounds. So I said, okay, fine. But then I saw other pictures of other places that she said I had access to. I saw the dining area, I saw the garden, and then I saw the kitchen and other places in the house. So I was like, okay, so the room is small enough and I can't find a place to film. Then since I have access to these other places in the house, I could find the spot that I could be using for my filming. That was what my thought was. Very honest thought. And that was why I went for the house, was why, not no other reason, because I was really keen on growing my YouTube channel before I moved. So I was like, okay, she said living room out of bounds, the other places are accessible, so yeah, it won't be a problem. I will just look for a small spot where I can just be doing my filming. I don't need much space. And that was it. So I went to view the house. Cut the long story short, went to view the house. She seemed very lovely, you know, very, very welcoming. Took me around, you know, took me around the whole place, you know, showed me everywhere. And let me tell you that the way this house is structured, you have to pass the so-called living room to be able to get to the dining area or the kitchen or the area that is called the utility room where the washing machine is, or even the garden. But the living room was out of bounds anyways. But honestly, I respected that, because something that people don't really know about me is that I keep to my word. I don't disrespect people. It's, for me, I see it as my credibility. You know, I do unto people what I want them to do to me. And people might say, whatever, she's slapping, but that's just me. You either take it or you don't take it. I'm not here to impress you, but that's just me. So she said living room was out of bounds. I was cool with it. Even when I went to view the house, I still confirmed it from her, which she said yes. Told me that other places were accessible in the house. Showed me around, took me around everywhere. Even told me that I could sit in the garden, because there used to be like an umbrella and a chair before winter came in, became windy, and rain started falling, and then she took it inside. So I could sit down there, you know, and use the garden whenever I wanted to. Yeah, that was it. I saw the house and I was like, okay, not bad. This is somewhere I can stay, you know, and accessibility to work was wonderful. I just needed to take one bus to work, and if you're driving, it's like 10 minutes tops when you calculate traffic light and all. So yeah, for me it was like, okay, this is perfect. It's everything that I want. Environment is very calm and quiet. What else can I ask for, really, guys? So for me it was like the done deal. So I said I love the place and I'd like to take it. So she said pay the deposit, and then when you pay the deposit you can move in. And I mean, what was there? I paid the deposit immediately and I sent the evidence. I still have the WhatsApp chat. I paid it, sent the evidence to her, and then she told me that I can move in immediately. I think I need to get my phone at this point for the chat history. Yeah. So 1 minute, guys. It's about to be a long one, but like I said, this video will be into different sections. So I don't know if you can see, these are the room pictures. I'm not going to post the pictures, I'm just going to show you from this little screen. But this is like the initial chat that we had together, where she sent me the room pictures. Yeah, the living room and everything was there. I still have the chat. She said so after the viewing, she said pay the deposit. Okay, she said send your references first before paying the deposit. So I quickly went back to my hospital accommodation office, and then I told them, you know, that I needed reference, blah blah blah, which they gave to me immediately. They sent she said she was fine with an email reference, which was what I did. So they sent a reference to her email, and that was it. She saw it. I gave her my contract or my offer letter, one of them. I think I gave her my contract for her to see that I work in this place, and then the reference from my previous accommodation. So yeah, everything was fine. So she said once she clears my references, then I can go ahead, she can go ahead to forward her account details and I can pay in the deposit. So that's what I did. To fast forward everything, after I sent her my reference and I'd given her my contract, she was happy with it, and then said she was going to send me her account details, which she did, as I'm looking at here. And I went ahead as well to make the deposit. And then she saw it and said the deposit is, she said, let me read. Great, confirmed, I have received it. Let me know when you're ready to move in. The room is yours, ready. Have a lovely day, Sandra. So yeah, that was it. And I said, oh, thank you. And this was the 1st of September. So I said, thank you and have a lovely day as well. On the 17th of September precisely, I asked her, because the plan for me was I'd given my accommodation like a month notice. So from the 1st of September, I told them I was moving out. So the plan was to move in on the 1st of October. But towards the end of September, I had like series of shifts lined up, and I knew that it wasn't going to be easy for me to, move out before the 1st of October if I didn't take prompt action. So I started to chat her up to ask her when it would be okay for me to move into the house. So this was the 17th of September. I said, I just wanted to find out from you when it would be okay for me to start moving in some of my stuffs, as my roster is cramped from now till October and I only have very few days off in between. It was really cramped. I think I had like series of shifts because I picked like bank shifts, so it was a lot for me at the point. So she said, you can move in whenever you want, just let me know well in advance so I can be here to give you the keys, and after all, you should be fine. So I said, thank you very much for this, because it had really been on my neck. I felt like she was not going to accept. She was going to say move in October. So when she said I can move in anytime, I said, oh, beautiful, fine. So I asked her if she was going to be around on the 25th of September, because it was a Sunday, and I said I can start bringing some of my things. And then she said it's fine, that she will be in by then. She gave me a time, and yeah, I said see you then. On the 25th, I still confirmed if she was going to be available, which she said yes, that she has been cleaning. So basically I went to the house, met her, I just carried a box, a box that had my clothes in it. So I went there, dropped the box in the house, and yeah, that was it. She then gave me the key, because that was a Sunday and the plan was to move in because I was off duty on Monday. I think I was going for a night shift on that 25th. I think so. That's why I didn't move in. I just carried my box. The plan was to get the key because I know that she's not usually out around during the weekend. She goes to work and comes back in the evening. So I was planning to move my things in on Monday, being the 26th. So that day that I went to the house, like I said, I'd paid the deposit already. That was like on the 1st of September, and this was on the 25th that I went to drop my thing and get the key from her. So that same day I spoke to her. We just had like a little chit chat. She seemed like a nice lady, to be honest. I'm not sure when exactly she told me, but I think it was either the time I went to view the house or that day I went to get the key. She mentioned that that even if I ran out of beverages, that I could use hers, which I never did, because that's not me. Why would I run out of beverages and use yours? Hello. I like to respect people's boundaries. I don't overdo myself. So that one is just added gist. So that day I collected the key from her. Before I left, I told her that I would be bringing my things in the next day, and that I had one that was going to help me bring my things over. And maybe got the wrong memo and thought I was talking about my friend, because then that was when she now told me that I'm not comfortable with you having male visitors in the house. So if it was possible for the person to just drop my things at the entrance of the door, and then I can carry them to my room inside the house. Guys, I was like, in my mind, I was thrown aback. But then, when you're meeting someone for the first time, you're still trying to build like rapport between you and the landlord. You are a little bit calmer. Not like you're not calm, but you don't really like react to so many things. You just try to like, okay, see how you can work around things. As a reasonable person that you are. So when she told me, honestly, I was taken aback, so I didn't really react to it. I just said, okay, all right, I understand. And then I went home. But then when I went home, I was really thinking about it. It was really worrisome to me, because this person I know is not my friend. I paid him already to come and help me move my things, with his van. So I was thinking about it, and like I said, I don't have much furniture, but I have, stuffs. So I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this information. And with the fact again that I was going for a night shift that day, I was like, after night shift I cannot be carrying all my things, and she has the stairs in her house that leads to the rooms. So I was like, I cannot start carrying all my things like this up the stairs. I need this. This is why I'm paying this guy in question to move my things for me. And then I have this freezer, just a freezer compartment, and I'm like, how do I start moving? Because then she has not told me where I can keep my things, and I like you to tell me before I start moving my things around. That's respect as far as I'm concerned. So I knew that for the meantime my freezer was going to be in my room, and I was like, how do I carry my freezer alone upstairs, up the stairs? How? It's not possible. Yet I'm paying someone to help me move my things. So it was worrisome, because I didn't want to disrespect her at the same time, but I didn't want to discomfort myself that bad, because how do I do it really? So I thought about it all night. I went to work. It was really on my mind. So the next morning I said, nah, I can't do this. I need to be open. Knowing fully well that she was going to be at work, and I had the option, of course, to take the guy to the house and then him bring my things into the house still. But I said, no, I don't want to disrespect this person. She told me that she doesn't like guys coming into her house. Let me just explain what is going on. Maybe she didn't understand me. So I sent her a message on the 26th, early in the morning, around 8:56. And I told her, hope your day has started out great. I don't want to do anything to upset you, and I respect your rules. Regarding what you said to me about not being comfortable with guys in the house, I have some heavy stuff to carry, and I really wouldn't be able to carry them up the stairs on my own. That's part of why I'm paying this man to help me move them. I was wondering if it would be okay for him to just carry those stuffs up the stairs, because it's part of what I get to pay him for, and he leaves immediately, please. That was what I sent. So after that, she saw the message and then said, hi Sandra, that is fine. Thank you for asking and being open. Don't forget that we have no locks on the doors, because apparently she said there were no locks on the doors. But I realized that her room lock had a door eventually. So just need to keep an eye on him, and as always, shoes off. So yeah, shoes off to enter the house. All these rules I didn't know about until I moved into the house, and then I started hearing all these things. It was one thing or the other, one thing or the other. That's the point of even going through all this history. So keep an eye on him, and as always, shoes off. I mean, what's the big deal with keeping your shoes outside or whatever, or taking your shoes off before you enter the house? So it was not a problem, but just mark the trend, guys. All these rules, all these petty rules started coming up after I had paid my deposit for the house. So yeah, so that was just it. So that was it. No male visitors in the house. Keep your shoes outside. They have started coming up gradually, but honestly at this point, when I felt like, oh, I didn't have any male visitor coming to see me at the time, so no big deal. Keeping your shoes outside or taking your shoes off before you enter the house, that's fine. I mean, it makes work even lesser for people, you know. So that's what it was for me. I wasn't paying attention to these rules and stuff. So yeah, I moved into the house. Everything was going okay. But guys, let me just be honest. From the time I moved into the house, you know that moment where you move into a place where you don't actually feel like you are in a home, right? You still feel like you are just passing by, like you're just lodging. It's like when you go to a hotel and you just know that you're just there for a couple of days. You know, that's how I felt in this house, because it was after then that when I moved in, first few days, like I said, my roster was tight, so I was hardly in the house, and it was like night shift, so it wasn't a problem. But it was when I started living there, you know, gradually, it was one thing or the other. I'm trying to cut this whole story short because I know that I've, you know, extended it, but like I said, it's going to come in parts. So it went from no male visitors in the house to keep your shoes outside, you know, this, that. And it also went from when you use the shower, clear the water from the glass. It was a tall bit, a glass, and then a shower as well. Clear the water. I use this thing to clear the water. So every time I have my bath, I start clearing out the water, even though I'm late for work. But it wasn't a problem. Then it went from that to open the showers when you finish, this, that. Then it went from don't keep this there, don't keep that there. Let me